If you've noticed groceries, rent, healthcare, and even fast food getting more expensive in America, you're not imagining it. Prices across many parts of life have been rising faster than people expected. But this isn't caused by just one thing. It's a mix of global supply issues, economic policy, labor shifts, and long-term structural changes. To really understand why costs are rising, we need to look beyond headlines and see the bigger economic picture. First, let's understand inflation. Inflation simply means the general increase in prices over time. A small amount of inflation is normal in growing economies, but when inflation rises quickly, people feel it immediately. Paychecks often don't rise as fast as prices do. That means people can afford less, even if they earn the same salary. In recent years, inflation spikes have made everyday essentials noticeably more expensive for millions of Americans. One major cause started with global supply chain disruptions. When factories slowed down and shipping became harder, fewer goods reach stores. When supply drops but demand stays strong, prices rise. America imports many everyday goods, from electronics to clothing, so when global production slowed, Americans felt the effects quickly. Even today, supply systems are still adjusting, keeping some prices higher than before. Another major factor is energy cost. Oil and gas power transportation, manufacturing, and heating. When energy prices rise, companies pay more to produce and ship goods. Those costs usually get passed to customers. Even products that don't use fuel directly become more expensive because transportation and production systems depend heavily on energy. This creates a chain reaction across the entire economy. Labor costs have also increased. Many workers changed careers or left certain industries. Some sectors, like hospitality and healthcare, faced worker shortages. To attract employees, companies raised wages. Higher wages help workers, but businesses often increase prices to maintain profits. This creates another cycle where higher pay and higher prices rise together. Housing costs play a huge role. Rent and home prices have risen sharply in many American cities. Housing shortages, population shifts, and construction costs all contribute. When housing costs rise, people have less money for other spending. Landlords and property owners also raise prices to cover higher taxes, maintenance, and financing costs, adding pressure across the economy. Healthcare costs are another long-term factor. Medical technology improves, but advanced care is expensive. Insurance systems, hospital operations, and medication development all add costs. In America, healthcare spending per person is among the highest globally. Rising medical costs indirectly increase insurance premiums and employer expenses, which can influence wages and product pricing. Education costs have also grown. Student loan debt affects how people spend money and make life decisions. When education becomes more expensive, graduates often need higher salaries to repay loans. Businesses then face higher wage expectations. Over time, this indirectly affects the price of services and goods across the economy. Government spending and economic stimulus can influence inflation too. When large amounts of money enter the economy quickly, people and businesses can spend more. If supply can't grow fast enough, prices increase. This effect depends on timing, production capacity, and global conditions. It's one piece of a much bigger puzzle. Corporate pricing strategies can also play a role. Companies may raise prices when costs rise, but sometimes prices stay high even after costs fall. This depends on competition, market demand, and consumer behavior. In highly competitive markets, prices adjust faster. In less competitive industries, price changes can last longer. Technology has lowered costs in some areas, but raised them in others. Digital services are cheaper to deliver, but advanced technology development is expensive. Automation reduces some labor costs, but increases equipment investment. This creates mixed effects on overall prices depending on the industry. Global conflicts and instability can disrupt food, fuel, and shipping markets. Even if events happen far from America, global trade means price effects spread quickly. Food prices especially can be sensitive to weather, energy costs, and transportation systems. Climate events also influence prices. Droughts, floods, and extreme weather can damage crops, infrastructure, and energy systems. Rebuilding costs money, and reduced production pushes prices higher. Over time, climate pressure can reshape supply chains and resource costs. Consumer behavior matters too. When people expect prices to rise, they sometimes buy earlier or in larger amounts. That increases demand, which can push prices higher. Economists call this inflation expectation, and it can become self-reinforcing if it spreads widely. So what are the consequences? Rising costs reduce purchasing power. Families may cut spending on travel, education, or entertainment. Small businesses may struggle with rising operating costs. Long-term, high inflation can slow economic growth if wages don't keep up. However, some sectors benefit. Energy companies, commodity producers, and some investors may gain during inflation periods. Inflation redistributes economic advantages and challenges across different groups. That's why inflation feels very different depending on someone's job, savings, and expenses. This isn't only an American story. Many countries have faced rising prices recently. Global supply networks mean economies are more connected than ever. Changes in one region can affect prices worldwide. That's why understanding inflation globally helps explain local price changes. Over time, inflation often stabilizes. Central banks adjust interest rates to control spending and borrowing. Higher interest rates can slow inflation, but may also slow economic growth. Balancing these effects is one of the biggest economic challenges policymakers face. For individuals, adapting often means budgeting differently, saving strategically, and adjusting spending habits. Many people also look for higher income opportunities or skill upgrades. Economic shifts have always required societies to adapt, and this period is no different. In the end, rising prices are rarely caused by one single event. They're the result of complex global systems, human behavior, and economic decisions interacting together. Understanding these forces helps us see beyond daily price tags, because when we understand why economies change, we're better prepared to adapt to whatever comes next.